Come put some thrift finds away with me.
I love to thrift, but I love to style, store, and organize my thrift finds even more. So let's get to it. We're going to start off with a small item first, this little jack. My main trinket shelf is almost completely full. However, there are some small spaces for things like this jack. After looking around, I decided it would look good on this shelf here in front of this Frankenstein book. I did move the book over just a little bit, and I think it looks great. I'll be hanging another shelf soon, so stay tuned. Next, we have this lace. I like to use it for wrapping gifts. The green and that yellowy color, so pretty. Those go in my craft closet as well as this gift bag. Someone told me to pull the strings inward so they wouldn't catch when I was filing them, and that was such a great tip. Thank you. In my craft closet, I do have a container for ribbons and strings. They go in there by color. However, for the time being, I'm going to put them in the to be put away bag. Once it's full, I'll put it all away. The gift wrapping items are on the top shelf and they're easier to access, so I'm just going to go ahead and file this bag now. I have plenty, but it was just so 90s, so I grabbed it anyway. Next, let's go through this greeting card box. There were several in a tote that I just grabbed because I knew they were going to be a good price, so I haven't really looked through them yet. This postcard set is adorable. I love the box, all of the images. There were several different kinds. I will absolutely use those, and honestly, they might be cute for framing little pieces as well. There were happy birthday, get well soon, thank you, congratulations, all of it. There was also just a hello card, just because, and several Christmas cards, which I really loved the look of. I didn't realize that they had different things on the front as well. When I went to open it, though, I was discouraged. The envelope had stuck to it, and unfortunately, it was like that in all the Christmas cards. So they'll be only good for framing. There were a couple smaller cards that had a little bit of a sticky issue as far as the envelope that I had to peel off. But if you pause to read these, some of these are like huge guilt trips. They're like, why aren't you reaching out? Why aren't you calling me? This postcard book, however, was super cute. They were all the same color. And we're back to the guilt trips. This one actually says, send me a sign that you're there. So those, I'm probably going to go ahead and donate those because I don't know in what situation I'd use those. But all of those odd ones had 2 birthday cards as well that I will keep. The donations and the Christmas cards will go to the garage to the appropriate totes. But before I put the cards away, I am going to pull a few of these postcards for framing. I'm just going to take one of each in case I want to use them for the refrigerator magnet gallery. Over in my desk area is where I keep my greeting cards, so I'm going to file them away. The 2 little birthday cards will go to the front of the adult's birthday area. The hello will go to the friendship and blank section. And the postcards, I'm going to keep them as is and just set them off to the side. Perfect for the right occasion. All of the postcards that I pulled to be framed, I'm also going to put with these postcards that I purchased at an estate sale. I'm a sucker for Colorado postcards. They're just so beautiful. And I love to collect them to frame, and I do keep them also in my desk area in this container. You can tell by the bear card, I keep all sorts of ephemera that would be cute for framing. With that being said, I'm going to use this frame for my refrigerator gallery in the kitchenette. I thought about taking that back off, but it's so thin, I'm just going to leave it. And since I have this out, let's go through them and find some things that I might be able to frame for the kitchenette. I pulled a couple just to see how they look. I love the Grand Canyon one, but it just kind of gets lost on like what it actually is. The context isn't there. And this is beautiful. I love it. I would have to trim the bottom, but I just decided it's not really the look I'm going for in the kitchenette. I did kind of like the owl though, I'll be honest. These kind of like Holly Hobby kind of looking ones might work. They're small enough. Some of the others are beautiful, but are just too big for the frame. So here I am just digging through, pulling what I think might work, and especially color-wise. You'll see a lot of greeting cards in here. It is not uncommon for me to pull them to frame them because they're just so pretty. The elephant is the perfect color combination, but it's just too big. So I took it down to these 2, the little girl with the dog and the little girl on the phone with the cat. I feel like the coloring on this one is a little bit more complementary to the kitchenette, so that's the one I'm going with. I grabbed my magnets and then I started trying to trim it. The first trim showed the letters a little bit and that line at the bottom. So I had an idea to cut the other line part off and kind of match it from top to bottom. And it's not ideal to have those lines showing, but it worked out and I like it. My really strong magnets have an adhesive, so I'm just going to stick it on there. And I did hot glue that flap down so it wouldn't scratch the fridge. It looks great, so let's go to the kitchenette. This 1948 freezer book also goes to the kitchenette, so let's put that one away while we're there. Here's my magnet gallery, but let's put that cookbook away first. I thought that pop of yellow on the spine will be really cute, and I was right. Now let's place the frame. Here is the before, and here's the after. It is certainly dark, but I would love to add more frames like this, so it is an always evolving project. But I love the addition for now, so stay tuned for more of that. Next, let's put this hanger away. I got it so my daughter could use it for dried flowers. She hangs her flowers quite a bit, and her boyfriend spoils her with lots of flowers. She has a new one that needs to be hung, and so I thought she could use this hanger. She said she might work on it still this weekend, so I'm just going to hang it here on her accordion rack by the door so she can use it when she's ready. The final item is this long shell necklace I could use for vacations. I don't usually wear necklaces like that, but like I've said before, I'm a different person on vacation. So I'll put it in the appropriate drawer in my jewelry box, and that's all for today. Thanks, guys.
Let's use this vintage magazine rack to make a Halloween activity center.
I first made an activity center at Christmas time, and it went over so well, so now let's make one for Halloween. I start off with this thrifted magazine rack. I absolutely love it, and I like to add vintage coloring books. I found this 1960s Captain Kangaroo coloring book at a flea market. It has green on it, so I feel like it will go with the theme. I do have some Halloween coloring books that I will also add, but they are definitely not as old. This one is from 2010, which basically feels like yesterday. These other two are from 2003, which I think technically falls within the vintage category, but I'm not ready to acknowledge that, you guys. There's absolutely no way that was over 20 years ago. Just can't be. But either way, Snoopy and Snoopy Halloween are favorites in our house, so they're going in there. I adjusted some of them so you can see the green of the Captain Kangaroo a little bit better. I like to also add games and other things that my kids can do while watching TV if they feel like fidgeting with something. I found this vintage puzzle at a flea market. It is missing one piece, but it just felt right with the orange box, and we haven't put it together yet, so I'm going to add it. I also picked up these two building block pieces from Schmarget. We had some regular colored ones my kids liked, and so since these are Halloween specific, I'm going to add them. And I can't forget the crayons. I did find a couple of boxes of crayons at an estate sale. These were Susan's. She wrote her name on there, and they were completely unused. This is like Kevin McAllister and the roller skates all over again. You got to use what you have, guys. Otherwise, before you know it, you never got to use them at all. I did point out, though, that they are non-toxic. I know with some of these vintage pieces, you have to be careful. I assume these are also Susan's. She did use these, though. They are no-roll crayons, which are super neat. They have one flat side, so they won't roll away. I had to show you this turquoise color that was in there. I think it's so beautiful and just so mid-century. I will add those as well, so there's two different types of crayons to pick from. The big square ones might be better for bigger areas, while the small ones for small details. So now that I have placed all of the pieces, it is time to put it in the living room. Since the chaise comes out on the right side, I think I'm going to put it on the left, right here next to the fireplace. When things are out, my kids are much more likely to grab them and play with them or use them. I think it's a nice, warm, cozy touch to the Halloween decor. Now it's time to watch It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown and maybe color a few pages. Thanks for coming along, guys.
Come thrifting with me. Today I am headed to my favorite thrift store just because I need to make my weekly drop-in. I do have a few items that I am looking for. I do need some smaller baskets. My cousin is having a baby shower that is whimsical, kind of foresty type theme, and I want to put together some small baskets, and so I need to find some. Let's get to it.
They always have their holiday stuff set out right by the door, so of course I was going to check out some of the Halloween stuff as well. Sometimes I like to flip these ceramic pieces over just to see if they're homemade or if they were purchased. That little candy dish was pretty neat. I really liked the one single tooth on that candle holder, but I have a lot of pieces like that. This flameless candle did catch my eye. It's $1.50, and it is that reddish kind of orange color, which is perfect for November. I loved how the light flickered, so I'm going to get it. This metal flower piece also caught my eye. It was in a rock. It would be so cute in the flower bed just to add a little bit of something, but it was $8. So I had to leave it behind. I didn't $8 love it. And as I headed towards linen, this twin sheet caught my eye. I love the colors of it. I wanted to check to see if the elastic was still intact or kind of crackling. If you guys know, you know. It was only $2, and we do often switch out our twin sheets for when friends stay the night or something like that. So I'm going to get it. This pillowcase was also vintage, but I didn't love the colors as much, so I left it behind. Here was another piece that I liked. It could be really cute on my front porch. However, it was $5, and I just didn't love it $5 worth, so I left it for someone else. This store doesn't have a lot of folded gift paper, so when I saw this, I had to take a look. Unfortunately, it was bridal shower paper, which I already have some of, and I'm kind of aging out of, so I left it for someone else. The little suitcase boxes were pretty neat as well and could be used for something crafty. I just thought these were really pretty and worth showing. I love the 40s style of them. I just got an amber top hat toothpick holder. Otherwise, this one would be coming home with me because it's equally as pretty. Now onto the baskets. I did just use something like this in my entryway. It's a great plant basket, but I think it'll work really well for my cousin's baby shower. I can make little gift baskets in them, so I'm going to get it for $1. And I have the same one of these in my family room. Then I moved towards the craft area. They did have some picture mats. Unfortunately, they were really banged up, so I decided to pass. And yes, I know I can paint them, but I just don't think I can do that without it looking painted. So I'm going to try and find something else. When digging through the drawers, I found a couple of dowels. I don't know about those, but I loved this little rose bouquet. It was $1, which is a little high, but I think that bouquet would look really cute on a trinket shelf, so I'm going to grab it. Onto the vintage items. This frame I loved. It is metal. It's so heavy and definitely vintage. I had to grab it. It'll be really unique on a picture ledge. I have something in mind for these egg, salt, and pepper shakers, so stay tuned for that. Onto the kitchen items. The spoons had been replenished and they had a grapefruit spoon, so I'm going to grab that since we only have one. Those were something my husband specifically asked me to keep my eye out for. This Echo canning funnel, I really debated for a long time. These are great for pouring things into larger canisters like sugar, coffee grounds, something like that. And so I really thought about it a long time, but I decided I just didn't need it, so I put it down. I felt the same way about this Pyrex scoop. It's not old Pyrex, but it's also not new. And so I loved the cream color of it. I just decided I didn't need it. I didn't find any good games, but they had some vintage puzzles donated recently, and they were super neat. On their art wall, I loved the colors of this piece. It could be really cute on my magnet gallery in the kitchenette, so I grabbed it. There was another one beside it, but since pictures don't talk and have feelings, I felt like I could leave one behind. Does that make any sense at all? It just felt like a pair could finally break up, you know? I spotted a wood votive holder then over by the candles, and this could work for her theme, but it's getting a little bit more like wilderness, and I debated it for a while and ended up putting it back. But a brass pedestal, I've never found one I didn't love and grab, so I grabbed that one. I believe it was $2. Here was another basket, just like the one I grabbed. This one was $1.50, and since I already had one like it, I left that one behind. I just thought that this lamp was really neat. I love milk glass. I'm drawn to it, and I also would love to have a lantern of some sort, but left that one behind. This basket could be really cute for the shower. However, it had some like mildew in the bottom from plants, so I left it. Right before checking out, I found this 50-cent red Christmas pick that is definitely vintage and is so versatile, so I'm going to grab it. In total, I spent $18.64. Lots of good finds, but the search continues.
Let's decorate Muffin's door for Halloween.
When we added cabinets and decorations to the kitchenette, a lot of you noticed that we do have a kitty cat door. This door does go to our storage room, and so we do have a litter box in there as well. My husband installed it on this shaker door. I'm very thankful. I made it very difficult for him. He had to add some foam and caulking, and so we still need to paint it, but we also need to paint the door jamb as well, so it's fine. The storage room has a cement floor, but we do have a carpet piece there. But now that you have all the details of Muffin's door, let's start decorating. I am on Dollhouse Renovation TikTok and all the miniatures. So I quickly decided to buy these 2 miniature lights to put on each side of the door. Since the door is curved, the door can still be open and I can just fit that right in that little crack right there. Did I mention that they turn on? How amazing is that? To keep things non-permanent, I'm going to go to my good old sticky dots. I had to cut it down just a little bit, but it worked like a charm. And they do have just a little switch to turn on and off. Since I was working on a project, of course, Muffin watched me the whole time. I just eyeballed the other one and it looks great. These are definitely a cute ad. For the door, I had thrifted this wreath last Christmas, and so I think I'm going to hang it on the door for fall. I took off the ornament string and I'm going to add a pumpkin and an orange ribbon. I thought a bow would be too much since it's such a small space, so I'm just going to wrap the ribbon straight. I also used sticky dots so I can use this wreath again at Christmas time. I just hung it over the edge, and then now I'm going to add the pumpkin with the sticky dot as well. It hangs in a way that we can still close the door if we needed to. I love the brightness of that orange and how it pops. So now I wanted to make kind of a welcome mat. My first idea was to use burlap ribbon, but then I also have these like extra pieces from our blinds. The idea is to layer them using one of these coasters I thrifted, and that way we get that layered rug look. The burlap just looked a little plain. It kind of blended into the floor, and it just kind of looked like someone dropped something. So I went with the bamboo strips, and I used sticky dots to stick them to the floor. For the rug, or the coaster, I'm going to use the bright orange because I think it pops the most and complements the wreath. One sticky dot keeps it in place, and it's so sweet. I have a number of small pumpkins to put around the door, but I realized that top part was naked, so I thought about putting them on top. The right side does need a little bit of balancing though, and so I had a flower pot I thought I might be able to work in as well. But first I decided to go ahead and move forward with the pumpkins on top, and so I used sticky dots and put 3 up there. As for the pot, I will have to stick it to the door so it floats and so the door can still open. I wasn't sure a sticky dot would hold, but it did. Here's the kitchenette again, and here's the final product. This couldn't be cuter. And this is how it looks at night. Very welcoming, very inviting. After I cleaned up everything, Muffin was the first to go check it out. She made quite the inspection.
Do you like it?
She wagged her tail afterward a little bit, so I'm going to take that as a yes. And she has gone in and out since, so it doesn't bother her.
Muffy, say thanks for coming along.
One of my followers gave me a gift. Let's open it. I know I have told you guys I don't accept gifts. However, this is a lady who lives not too far from me, and she is a friend of a friend, so she sent a gift along. She wrote the sweetest note and just sent the most thoughtful gift. There was lots of tissue paper, and you know I'm going to save that and reuse it. Inside, there was a bag, some hot pan holders, and a bowl, and so I just moved the top ones to the side so we could look at this bowl a little closer. I legitimately gasped when I saw this bowl. It is so pretty. It's from 1971 and it is exactly up my alley. If this isn't meant for my kitchenette, I don't know what is. I cannot wait to style it. She also gifted me 3 hot pan holders, which are colors that I adore. That rusty orange is one of my favorites, as well as that gold. They are so versatile and I can't wait to style those as well. The drawstring bag full of little charms was just darling. I'm definitely going to reuse the bag. The first thing I pulled out was this green perfume bottle. It will go perfectly on my trinket shelf in my primary bedroom, and I love that green color. She knows me well. There was also a ghost pin in there. I don't know if he'll make it to the fridge gallery this season, but he will definitely be in the future. My daughter had to giggle when she saw the I Love Elvis magnet. This is so me. I love it so much, and I do love Elvis. With the pink and red tones, it will be great for Valentine's Day on my fridge, but it seems like I should put it out some other time as well. There was a darling little trinket cat that had the best mom ribbon. I love it. How sweet. Her little overalls. She'll go on my new trinket shelf. There was a bunny that didn't have a back on it, so it could be a pin or a magnet. I'm thinking a magnet for Easter. And the last item was this tiny bottle filled with playing cards, dice, and checkers made out of like clay. It was certainly meant for my game room trinket shelf. Overall, Kim, this was such a thoughtful and perfect gift for me. I love all the pieces so much, and stay tuned because I will put them away. My followers truly are the best. Thanks, guys. Come decorate my front porch with me for Halloween. I did this last week, but I'm just now getting a chance to share. The wooden piece on my front door, I think, is an apple barrel lid. I'm not sure. You guys will let me know. And I keep it up year round, just switching out the wreath I hang in front of it. So, of course, this time of year, I have a Halloween one. Another staple is this old milk can that I have some faux greenery and logs in. And so I will just add some orange to fit the season. Here's another lid that I like to add for texture, and then another wreath just to add a pop of color. The mailbox sits year-round, and it actually comes in handy for people to drop things off for us. This summer, I put up my accordion rack. I love it so much, and so I'm going to add some leaves to my basket. I will also add this bronze lantern that actually works. And yes, it's dusty from last year, and I'm not going to dust it because it's just going to get dusty again. I'll add a few more Halloween pieces to complete the look, and now it's time to decorate the bench. I have collected some of these small pumpkins, and this was what I use them for. I just fill this basket so it's a nice fall vignette, and then I like to place that on the bottom across the bars. Since it's leaning a little more fall and not so much Halloween, I am going to add a fake bone just for that Halloween touch. For the top of it, another little wreath and a fake pumpkin. I buy those fake pumpkins anytime they're in the thrift store because it's easier instead of buying some early and having them rot. As for the chair, I will add a sign, and then you guys may recognize this basket I got at the rummage sale. I just added some Halloween pieces to it. Another small broom will complete that area. My owl and my watering can kind of fit the vibe already, so I'm just going to add some more Halloween pieces to the table as I pick some cobwebs off of him. We live by a field and they harvested recently, so we have a ton of spider webs all over our front porch. I tried to clean them off, but they kind of go with the vibe. For my other milk can, I'm going to add this black bird and some leaves because he kind of blends in. So I thought the leaves might help him pop a little bit. I originally got this pot to put a plant in, but it works so well for this season that I'm going to just place a pumpkin on top, and I love the way that looks. And speaking of spiders and bugs, there's another one. I'm not sure what it was, but the witch's broom came in quite handy. To hang another piece, I use these little siding hooks that I got from Schmamazon. They go into the seam of the siding and work really well. The final touch, of course, is my blow mold ghost that I'm going to put near the electrical outlet. There are a lot of touches of fall throughout, so when I switch over from Halloween to fall, it'll be an easy transition. I always love decorating this time of year because the oranges really pop with our dark blue siding. They are on opposite sides of the color wheel. This is my last decorating video for Halloween. I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for coming along.
Come put some thrift finds away with me.
I love to thrift, but I love to style, store, and organize my thrift finds even more. So let's get to it. If I don't have any jewelry that I thrifted, I love to start out with my trinkets. In my primary bedroom, I do have a trinket shelf that is perfume, cosmetics, and brass themed. I know that my green bottle drives a lot of you crazy, but I do have some blues and reds in there too. So hopefully you guys like this blue bottle as well. Originally, I thought that this spot next to the green would work best, but to separate out the colors, I'm going to put it in this middle section. It fit so well in that space, and I love it. I haven't updated you guys in a while on it, so I just thought I would pan and show you what I have so far. Still a lot of spaces to fill. I got this snowflake paper in one of my thrifted gift hauls. I am going to give it to my sister. So by our front door, we have this entry cabinet. My sister has her own drawer, so I put things that go to her there so she can grab it on her way out. The paper was very much her vibe. Next up is all of the lace. I like to use it for gifts, so I'm going to put it in my craft closet. Normally, ribbon and string go in this container, color-coded, but that takes a while, so for now, I'm going to put it in the to-be-put-away bag. This bag is very full, so keep your eye out for putting away of the to-be-put-away bag. I feel like it filled up very fast this time. Next, let's move on to these greeting cards. I thrifted a whole stack. I am always short on birthday cards, so the majority of them are birthday. I also have a couple of vintage silver anniversary and 25th anniversary cards. I have a hello, a thank you, and a couple for framing. The ones that I will actually use to send out, they go in my desk area in this bottom drawer. I do have a filing system, and so first I'm going to put away the thank you card. You really never know if you have enough of those because it just comes up out of nowhere that you need a thank you card. The just because card goes in the friend/blank area. The silver anniversary ones are very specific, but I am getting to that age that I might need them soon. And lastly, I have the birthday cards, and they all seemed more of an adult card for me, so I put them all in the adult section. As for framing, in my desk area, I do keep this container full of different items I might want to frame. A lot of them are greeting cards, so I will just add those to the container pile. It definitely works for now. I don't know how it will be long term, but for now it works. Next up is a DVD. I do have 2 cabinets that I like to keep our DVDs in. This first one is for holidays and Christmas and unwatched movies. I also keep my extra sleeves in there. The other side is family movies and regular non-family movies. Safe Haven falls into the regular non-family movies, so I'm going to grab that container. This is a container I have labeled all of the titles on, so I will need to label this one as well. I'm far behind though, and not all of our family movies have been labeled quite yet. This case came with a DVD and Blu-ray, and so good thing the sleeve has 2 sides. I'm going to save the container for now, but I am heavily thinking about donating them. I just need to actually go through with that process. The sleeves already came with the labels and a fun little tool for sliding it in there easily. And so after putting in the label, all I have to do is file it. It looks like it will go right in front of Safety Last. And we definitely have a lot of S movies. But now that that is done, I'm going to put the container back. Next up, let's handle these washcloths. I have been collecting vintage linen for an idea I have. These are vintage. I have already washed them, and this tag was just barely hanging on, so I pulled it off. For the time being, until I work on this project, I have been collecting them here in my laundry room. I'm trying to get as many colors as I can, and it's looking really cute so far. The last 2 items go to my kitchenette, and someone corrected me and said this isn't a barn, this is a covered bridge, and you are absolutely correct. I don't know why I was calling it a barn. I also grabbed some sticky dots. And once in my kitchenette, you can see all of the colors. It is perfect for this hot pan holder. For now, I have been putting them in these baskets above the fridge, and I'm hoping to be able to display them sometime in the future. Maybe once the tile backsplash is done, I can add some hooks. Scanning the kitchenette, I do have this closet door on the right side that you guys don't normally see. But since it's all stark white, I thought it might be cute to hang this vintage calendar on there. The colors are perfect, and honestly, the vibe I'm going for is kind of a 1968 vibe. So I put sticky dots at each corner, and I am just sticking it right to the door. It's kind of like adding artwork. One fun thing I noticed is that 1968 was a leap year, so that's pretty neat. It is still a little wrinkled, but I think that it will slowly over time lose some of those hard creases. Here is the overall look of the kitchenette, including the new linen calendar. What do you guys think? That's all for today, though. Thanks for coming along, guys.